If you're like me, you've spent the last 13 weeks doing home fixer-up projects. Sometimes I think I wake up and I'm Chip Gaines and my wife is Joanna Gaines, as much as we need to fix our house that we thought was perfect before COVID-19, but apparently there was a lot of things we need to fix. Find out how two unlikely business people came together and have created an amazing business that fits during COVID-19. Find out that and how entrepreneurs at home-based business are making more money than ever. Find out next. And this is To The Point. Welcome to The Point Tuesday. Today we have a great show for you. I'm excited because one of our guests is an OG from the Shark Tank, Kevin Harrington, and the other is a career roofer. Yes, a roofer. I'm excited for a career roofer. I actually am. Mike Feazell is joining us, and he runs and is the CEO of a company called RoofMax. Now, Kevin Harrington invested in his business, RoofMax, with 2 X's, to help grow the business. Kevin believed in it so much. Not only did he invest in the company, yep, he did, but he actually has a few franchises of his own that he's launching in the Central Florida area. I was excited to have these two on. One, because Kevin is a serial entrepreneur, an amazing entrepreneur that I've followed for so many years, and I'm amazed at his investments, and to hear the good investments and the bad, and to hear some stories from Shark Tank, and to hear Mike's story about his career path to get to a roofing company when he's already been a roofer for his whole life. These are two people that you don't see together very often in life. A career roofer meets a Shark Tank investor. It just doesn't go together like peanut butter and jelly, but these two do. It's a great story because RoofMax in 2 years has changed the game. Instead of having to rip out your entire roof, RoofMax makes it more affordable for you to change your roof, and not change it, but be able to fix or repair your roof without having to yank the whole damn thing off your house. And it's good for the environment. And we're going to find out exactly how safe for the environment. And I think you're going to be a bit alarmed to find out exactly how long it takes our shingles to break down in a dump. Let's just put it this way, none of us will be here when they finally do disappear from the dump. So it's going to be a great show. I'm excited to welcome to the show CEO of RoofMax, Mike Feazell, and from the Shark Tank and investor in RoofMax, the one, the only Kevin Harrington. Now let's get to the point with these two amazing gentlemen. Welcome to the show, guys. I'm so excited to have both of you here. We're talking about RoofMax, and we get their CEO, and we get a shark. I mean, how many times do you go interview one company, ended up with a Shark Tank, the OG Shark Tank? Can we say that about you, Kevin?
Like, I'll take it. Hey,
you're like OG.
More,
I mean,
come on, more.
The syndicated version. No, you're the reason why most of us started watching Shark Tank, right? When it first started and people thought it was a crazy idea.
Yeah.
And now you find yourself, I mean, okay, the last 12 weeks, you're looking for things to watch on TV. And you see Shark Tank, you're like, look, I can educate my brain at the same time. Might as well go watch Shark Tank. So it's awesome to have you here. And we have Mike Feazell here from RoofMax, the CEO of RoofMax. So tell us how you two ended up together. It's an interesting story that you guys are partners. I mean, roofing, Kevin, Shark Tank. Put the dots together for me, please.
Mike, you want to take it? You want me to? How you want to do it?
Why don't you go ahead?
Okay. So, long story, Eric. It's great being here. Thank you for having me. But I was a young entrepreneur, and I was in the home services business. In high school, I was doing driveway sealing, and my father was a mentor to me, and he owned bars and restaurants, Harrington's Irish Pub. And when I was 11, I was working for him. But when I turned 15, he's like, Kevin, you got to get your own business. So what can you do? And when I was 15, this is many, many, many years ago. Okay. And so driveway sealing, easy. When I got to college, he said, I'm not paying for your college. You got to come up with your own money for that. So I started a heating and air conditioning company because I needed something year round. And so I developed salespeople, techniques, lead generation systems. We were buying new homeowner lists, and we built some nice businesses. Just these were full-time businesses. I had to quit school. I had 25 employees, and then fast forward, I sold that company, started in the as seen on TV business, and that was my main business for almost 40 years. Billy Mays, Anthony Sullivan, Jack LaLanne and the Juicer, George Foreman, and all those kind of crazy shows. And that's why Mark Burnett called to go on Shark Tank. But now, as a shark, I'm out there in the marketplace. I'm getting a lot of contact and deal flow and pitches and things. And a buddy of mine called me and he said, Kevin, he said, I know you see a lot of stuff. I never bother you, but you have got to look at this company, RoofMax. It started a couple years ago. It's already doing millions of dollars in sales. It has 260 dealers in a 2-year period with something revolutionary. They don't put new roofs on. They extend the life of your existing roof. And I said, I got to hear about it. I did. I met Mike Fiesel in the process as we're talking virtually here, same kind of process. We said, let's do it. And I'm an investor in RoofMax, as well as now also I wanted to own the local dealership. I'm in Tampa, St. Pete. So I have 20 territories in Central Florida. So I loved it. I'm going to let Mike talk about why RoofMax is so amazing.
Outstanding. That's just awesome. I love hearing that. That's awesome that you guys just did this. And again, virtually. And we'll get into talking about virtual workplace because I'm curious on your guys' thoughts on that as we're moving to it. But let's continue on. Mike, okay, now we got to hear your side. We want to hear your version.
Okay, yeah, sure. So I started in the roofing business back in the mid-'80s. My brother and I, roofing has changed dramatically. Today, shingles are failing much quicker than they did. Down in Florida, you'll get 10 years or so out of an asphalt shingle roof. Up where I'm at in Ohio, you'll get 15 to 20 years out of an asphalt roof. And it's because they're thinner, there's less asphalt in the shingles. And so we realized that if you could keep that shingle moisturized, like think about a moisturizer for your shingle, if we could get an oil back down on that shingle, and we've done that with a bio-based or an all-natural plant-based oil, and each treatment lasts for 5 years. We can extend the life of the roof, and we can really double the life of an asphalt roof. The asphalt industry went through a major change when a new piece of technology called a coker was put on at the oil refineries in the early 2000s. And byproduct of refining oil was asphalt, of course, and it reduced the amount of the byproduct. And asphalt literally tripled in price. So when that happened, many things changed. Manufacturers used less asphalt and all the things I discussed. Roofs failed quicker. So fast forward, my brother and I to 2013, 25 years in the roofing business, replacing roofs. We saw the problem had gotten worse and worse. And we just decided to sell the company. We had an opportunity to sell the company and then went down this path of roof rejuvenation. So really didn't exist. We have created a new market, a new niche within the roofing industry. And it's been quickly accepted for obvious reasons. You know, it's all natural. It saves people about 80% over the cost of replacement. And it's quick and it's clean and it's simple. So we knew we were growing quick. We were looking for a strategic partner. Got fortunate enough to be hooked up with Kevin through as he said, someone that he knows. And Kevin checks off all of the boxes really for the perfect strategic partner for us. Was looking for somebody that really knew marketing on a nationwide basis, really taking something big. My brother and I had built a nice local roofing company with a household name here in Central Ohio, but we were going to a much bigger stage and knew that we needed somebody, a different skill set. But what I didn't know with Kevin was he came out of home services and all these other things. And as he said, they're opening up a location. To really understand RoofMax at the local level, because we don't just sell a product to the consumer, we also sell a business opportunity. And so So it's important that we can market both of these as we build out this new niche called roof rejuvenation.
I love hearing that. So here's one of my questions. We're in the middle of COVID-19. Obviously, I don't need to state that, but so how does that work with franchising? With people going out and needing to, obviously we're trying to do that. It sounds like franchises are the best things you could do right now, because you probably need to go create your own. Hopefully you've saved some money. I'm always blown away by people who walked into COVID-19 with zero in their savings account. But I mean, how's that work for franchisees? If somebody wants to open up a franchise and expand your business, obviously growth's going, you're in Central Florida, which is outstanding, huge market to be in. I mean, how's that go with growth and COVID-19? How do what's the struggle been like?
I mean, on our side, we saw a slowdown early on. Of course, and there's still a lot of uncertainty, but we're starting to see the number of dealers that we're bringing on increasing. Now, our dealer base, other than the ones that were in New York and the markets that got shut down quickly, they've done in varying degrees in different parts of the country have had a lot of success. And we've actually set some records with the number of sprays that are happening. And as I said, we're seeing more dealers. We're not a franchise. We're a dealer opportunity, very similar to a franchise, but it's a business in a box, and all of the support that you give the franchise. So I know from 2008, 2009, in that time frame, we spoke with people within the franchise world, the service-based franchise world, and they did extremely well because they had lost their jobs, and a lot of people wanted to make sure that they didn't get back in that same situation. They wanted to have control of their own life. And so many people, because of Kevin and Shark Tank and it's, having a business, I think being an entrepreneur today is much different than when I started in the mid 80s, and probably certainly when Kevin started in the mid 70s. So people are taking the risk, and it's paying off for people, I think. And now I think as we coming through COVID and the economy starting to do better, I believe that we're going to start to see the same thing happen again. So
a couple of things that I'd like to add, thanks, Mike, is that number one, people, they're not wanting to go buy a new house right now because of the uncertainty. So they're investing in their existing home. So this is a good trend, and why fixing your roof is better than having to put a new roof on or go buy a new house, right? So that's number one. But also, a lot of people got laid off, and as it turned out, my wife's uncle is in a business that was having some big challenges. People getting fired, their pays were cut. He's with a big national company for 11 years, and they basically told him he's going to get 25% less and this and that. So he's like, I can't work for anyone anymore. I want to own my own business. So actually he's going to be involved in RoofMax now. And so the bottom line is, it's times like this that people look for new opportunities to survive, but not just survive. They want to thrive. They want to make money. They want to make, good money. And when you control your own destiny as a RoofMax person, you have the ability. I mean, does not cost a lot of money to be a dealer. I don't want to quote any wrong numbers, Mike, but is max of about 25, 30 grand, give or take, something like that.
30 or under. Yeah.
Yeah. And you're a dealer. So, it's amazing the opportunity for the upside with a unique business in the market.
So let's talk about the business in a box. Is that the wave of the future? Kevin, actually, that's for you first, and then Mike. But I mean, is this the wave of the future as we have more and more folks are at home?
Yeah.
And looking at this business model, it sounds like a great opportunity, number one, for anybody who's out there. And I mean, and I look at it this way, and I've been telling people when they look at this type of business model, to me, and I'm not a professional, so Kevin will lean on you for this, but as someone sitting here, you're not spending money on season tickets. People who have extra money around, I'm like, we're not spending season ticket money because there's 0 sports teams that have fans going. Trust me, I happen to be one, and I'm like,
hey,
so I guess I'm not going to any games, period, end of sentence, full stop. Right. We're not doing that, which makes the wife happy, but that doesn't mean she gets to go visit Nordstrom's more. That's what I keep telling her. I'm like, that does not mean Amazon needs to continue always being at our house. Like,
right.
Like, I think Bezos has a room here. But But how does this model, do you think, Kevin, that this is the wave of the future, the business in a box for people as we're learning this new normal, as they call it?
I mean, I got to tell you, I did the first 175 segments on Shark Tank, and part of the challenge was I gave them money, and guess what? They blew it. They went through it. It was gone. I have one deal, $500,000 for 50% closed, within a year. And this is because these were individual entrepreneurs trying to run their own business. And it's not easy. 8 out of 10 small businesses will fail in the first couple of years, whereas dealer type opportunities like we have, franchise type opportunities, 8 out of 10 will be successful because we have the business in a box. We show them how to generate the leads. We show them, we train them in every aspect of the business. There's something called RoofMax University that they have to go through, take a test, pass, etc. It's running the business as a business, the accounting, the finance, the application of the product, the marketing, the lead generation, the public relations, etc. This is business in a box on steroids.
That is awesome. So, Mike, let me ask you, when you put this together and put it in a box, and now you're adding accounting and all these things, like Kevin said, that I know there's a lot of business owners out there. I come from the startup world. After I got out of the military, I went into the startup world, and I remember a number that always has stuck in my head for many years now. I've been acquired 3 times. Is 90% of all startups fail, which is scary when you think of, that's a true number. I can remember back in the day when everybody was calling up where I worked and they were like pitching us their product. They're like, hey, we are the next, what was it? Oh, we were the next Groupon. Everybody's the next Uber, the next Airbnb. Everybody's the next and they're gone. Like you're the next and you're gone because you're not them. So when you built this and you put this in a box, how much, when it comes to the research and putting other people going, okay, this is how you do your financing. This is how you do your accounting. All things that I think as business owners, all 3 of us can agree, those are the headache points, right? When you talk about the back end stuff of a business is where a lot of people struggle. So how did you make it so it's ease of use, right? I know ease of use is a big thing. So how did you make it easy for someone to come in, buy a business in a box and be able to go through these courses?
Yeah, I mean, as Kevin said, creating all of the video training, building out a tech stack. So our dealers have the software to give the quotes, to keep track of accounting. We have a partnership with QuickBooks. So all of those things. And, we're only 2 years into this, and we continue to iterate and tighten down the model. But, and the more dealers you get, you learn things from different dealers. Everybody runs under the basic model, but they're learning new things within their market. And if it works well, we test it in other markets, and then we scale across every dealership, assuming it makes sense to. So there's a lot of power in the group, and everybody has a common cause. We're all independent, yet, or each dealer's independent, yet they're all a partnership. What Kevin does in his market will drive leads to other parts of Florida, other parts of the country. Somebody, you treat their roof and they're talking to a relative, out west, and they think they need a new roof. And all of a sudden, like, hey, I just saved my roof with a product called RoofMax. And our dealers are already experiencing those things. So, but I think in today's world with technology, it's easier to scale things. It's easier to, I think the risks are less, as Kevin said, within a franchise or a dealership. But technology has changed things. We've been a virtual company, RoofMax, literally from day one, other than our manufacturing facility. So we are a virtual business prior to COVID. So thankfully we were, and so we haven't really, internally from a corporate structure, we haven't seen any change at all.
That's awesome. So let's talk about this industry, the roofing industry, because it fascinates me because it's, I hear nightmares living where we live, where there's lots of rain. Obviously, Kevin, you live in Florida. You're very familiar with the precipitation that falls from the sky, like us Pacific Northwest folk. Roofing is an issue, right? We all go through it. It's funny, we're having this conversation about 4 hours ago. I had a roofer in my house because we found one of those lovely little bubble things. My wife found it, which was random. She was like, is that normal? And I'm like, no, no. A bubble in your house. It's just different. But so with this going on, Why should folks go with RoofMax? And what are the dangers of going with these other folks using your product, using RoofMax? What is the advantage? I think that's a key thing here. Yes, they have a pretty face with Kevin as one of the backers. That's great. And people will be like, oh, a shark. But why should we go and use RoofMax when there's a lot of other businesses? I love your guys being a virtual company. That's a huge selling point to me. Plus your growth. Obviously, you have an awesome backer, and I'm one of those kind of fanboy kind of guys. So if, you know, somebody who would invest money in a lot of amazing things believes in something, I probably should take the risk too. So what makes you guys different than your competition?
So our competitors are what I used to be, which is a roof replacement contractor. And, you know, so really, if it makes sense, it only makes sense to extend the life of something if you can do it and it works and it saves you money. Of course, it keeps debris out of the landfills. And people don't get excited about replacing the roof. I've always said when I come out to somebody's home, I feel like, you know, the dentist. People don't get excited about replacing a roof. They do get excited about kitchens and baths and all of that. But a roof is something that just sits over your head. It's very, very important. It protects the structure, but it doesn't do anything. And most people don't pay attention. They don't look up. So it's a way to save money. It's a way to, and it's not, it doesn't work in every scenario. So we always come out, we make sure that a RoofMax treatment is a good fit for that customer. But more than 90% of the time, we can take a roof that someone believes they need to replace their roof, and we can treat it twice, and each treatment is good for 5 years. It's guaranteed for 5 years. So we can take the average roof that's going to the landfill today and take it out 10 more years for just a fraction of the price of replacing that roof.
And yours is better for the environment too.
What's better for the environment? Well, the product's all natural. So we're USDA BioPreferred certified. So it's all natural. It's plant-based. We can water your grass. So that's safe. But we're keeping debris out of landfill. Shingles will sit there for about 300 years. And then also we're keeping the natural resources that that you manufacture shingles with, keeping those in the ground longer.
300 years. Good God, that's a long time when you think about it. Wow, sorry. I'm still like, did he just say 300 years? Like
11 million tons every year, 11 million tons of shingles taken to landfills every year. So we want to reduce that.
That is nuts. So let's talk about growth. Obviously, you've been around, you said 2 years. Just want to make sure we're 2 years. So,
yep, we hard launched fall of 18.
Awesome. So what's the plans for growth? Obviously, we're in the middle of what we've all called the dumpster fire of 2020. But, you know, how do you do growth? And what's amazing, before we jump to that question, here's one thing. I think it's amazing so many brands have had remote teams, virtual companies, a lot of e-com, a lot of direct sales are having amazing, crushing numbers during this time. During COVID-19, people are crushed. I've never seen, you would have thought the opposite, right? When you look at 08, and we remember what 08 was like, which felt like everybody was done. It wasn't. This time, people are making money a lot. Yes, 40 million people are unemployed, but how many of those people have side hustles or side jobs? They're off doing something. They're driving Uber, delivering food. A lot of people are just adapting and overcoming. Yes, hard up to the Marine Corps, my favorite little quote there. I mean, what do you think? Let's just kind of do that one before we move to the growth. What do you think? And Kevin, this one's for you. Why do you think gig economy and these e-com, remote, virtual companies are doing so amazing during a pandemic?
Yeah, good question. And a couple of reasons why. Number one, what happens during the pandemic for all of us, most people are now at home. They're not, they're off work or whatever. They're working from home. They're at home. They're watching more TV. They're on the internet a lot more. So we're seeing, like, for example, you talk about sales increasing. QVC is seeing increase in sales because they're a home shopping channel, right? We're seeing an increase in sales on certain of our products that are very e-commerce oriented. So we've had 50% increases in some of our campaigns because we were able to bring the customer acquisition cost way down. We had one campaign went from an $18 customer acquisition cost to a $5 customer acquisition cost because there's there's more people on the internet, but the advertisers have also left. So I can come in as kind of that bottom feeder and get a lot of good deals on the media side. And that's how we operate, by cutting deals for remnant time kind of thing, for TV stations, radio stations, newspapers, internet outlets, etc. So even though there's a lot of people that are hurting financially, there's just a lot of people that are out there looking and scouring and trying to find the next deal. And just because somebody is laid off doesn't mean they can't afford to buy certain things, including, a roof that needs to be taken care of if they've got challenges.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you there. I think that's a big point. Is a lot of people have saved. A lot of people I've talked to. We were recently at a car dealership, and I asked the car guy. I was like, "Hey, how's business been?" He's like, "Never been better." He's like, "A lot of people came in. They got that. They qualified for the stimulus check, and they walked in. Married couples walked in with $2,400 in their pocket. Here's my down payment.
Yeah,
I have a job, but hey, I got this free I got this free money. I love people. It's free. I'm like, it's going to come from somewhere. It's not from a magic tree in your backyard. But anyways, let's talk about growth. So, Mike, where do you see you guys going? You're in, year 2. You're going to obviously go into the summer, so people are going to be needing roofs. This is the best time. It's dry, except in Florida, where you guys get rain randomly all the time. Here, it's perfect. This is time for us to get a roof. Why we had a roofer at our house today. Sun's out. It's time to fix your roof, right? This is the best time. So what's your growth like expanding to the West Coast?
So we are coast to coast. We're in 49 states, 600 locations, over 600 locations, about 260 dealers. A big piece of our network was built in 19. And so now we have a large number of dealers that are coming into their second year. And so we're seeing actual growth. Our dealers, I believe it would be greater had we not had COVID. But also, that being said, I'm very positive. Our dealers are very positive. And in most markets, it's just a lot of growth. Now, New York and New Jersey and some of those markets are just opening back up. Pretty shell-shocked with what happened there, of course. But by and large, the market we see, at least on the remodeling side, the home improvement, the roofing side, it's been great for us. And I hear that from other remodeling contractors and roofing contractors. So I'm very positive. I'm very optimistic. Like Kevin said, there's going to always be people that get hurt. I wouldn't want to be in Kevin's father's old business. I wouldn't want to be in the restaurant business right now. That's tough.
True.
And you can only be so creative and try to make that model work at this time. But for others, I think it's things are doing well for many.
It's funny you say that, because how many of us, when this all started, got the honey-do list? I know my wife was like, you know what we need to do? We should paint a few things. We ended up painting almost every room in our house in like 4 weeks. I was like, this is horrible. Can we start doing something called work again? I'm done fixing things. I like my weekends to fix things, not wake up and be like, okay, my job's done for the day. Oh, I need to go paint. Yay. But it's true about that world. So let me ask you both, because again, I'm going to keep talking about COVID because it's currently in the news again. We see Texas just went and kind of halted their opening. They're staying at their current phase. We went through that here. I know on the West Coast, masks are everywhere. So how do businesses, let's just talk business here as a whole. How do businesses continue to have success? Obviously, the restaurant business, I think, is going to struggle the most out of all of this for all the rules. Restaurants and schools, let's just face it. Schools have some crazy requirements. Our kids just actually got the news for next year. We get to vote on they go to school every other day, 3 days a week for 4 hours. Yeah, that's what a junior and an 8th grader want to hear, is that like, that's all I get to go, especially when you're an 8th grader. But, restaurants and schools. But how do businesses continue to push forward and be successful during these tough times? Entrepreneurs are going to look at both of you, obviously, yeah. Kevin, but Mike, you too. You run a successful business. You have an amazing path. How do businesses continue to grow and not get in this funk of crap? We might as well just close our doors.
Why don't you go ahead and take that, Kevin?
Yeah. So, I'll give you an example of another company that I'm involved with. We have a product. This is a company called Celsius. It's an energy drink, healthy energy. We're in 165,000 stores around the world. Asia, the United States, Europe. And 50% of the stores are closed during COVID at one point, right? So you think the sales would be down. But no, we had a conscious effort to go with fitness influencers and, you know, both small, large, whatever. And so we really doubled down on our e-com side of the business so that when the stores were closed, our sales went up during the time that 50% of our stores were closed because of our direct to the consumer business. So these are the things that, I mean, RoofMax, we are a direct to the consumer business. We are able to build a funnel, run some traffic through it, and generate leads for our salespeople to go sell RoofMax. So when you're in the B2C side of the business, which when I told my mother that I was quitting college because I had, you know, wanted to be an entrepreneur and ultimately was going to be a direct to the consumer entrepreneur, she was a little bit challenged about me quitting school. And I can only say for 38 years now, I've been in this B2C business, controlling my own destiny because I can find the products and I can sell them direct to the consumer. And I don't need stores. I don't need restaurants. I don't need anybody. RoofMax is a good example of one that is in a perfect position to be able to not just survive, but actually do very well, thrive.
Awesome. Mike, you want to jump in on this or you?
Yeah, I mean that, and then, you know, just as Kevin said, being creative, right? How they did the energy drink. One thing happened, you have to look at strategies and think outside the box. I think that many businesses recreate themselves, and then once something, you know, and then they just become stronger from challenges, adversity. We all become stronger from it. So, but you just can't sit idle and in fear. You have to act, and you have to be creative and just rethink how you're doing things. And a lot of
I love that. So we're jumping around, I know, but that's what the glory of my show is. We're kind of everywhere. It goes with my host kind of ability to be like a squirrel and ADD going all over the place. So I want to talk about your product and how much money is in what is the exact bio-based products, which I think is amazing because so many companies, I've worked for several that are eco-friendly, which I think is important for the environment. But I was shocked by the money, $459 billion was brought to the economy, U.S. economy alone, from these bio-based products. And that was a 17% increase from over 2014. And that added almost, good God, almost 5 million jobs. So is that something we're going to see continually growing, not just with RoofMax, but in this bio-based products, more and more folks using what the earth gave us and creating products, and it's going to drive more and more people to do it. Number one, it saves money. It sounds like it's not as expensive as a full roof, and you can go do it. And we're not going to be here in 300 years, but in 300 years, people aren't going to see your roof anymore. Won't have that long time. But I mean, how's this going? Do you see this industry continue to grow? Is this a grow, or are we kind of doomed and we have to start over, hit the reset button because COVID-19?
I don't believe what I see with the bio-based economy, and I knew little about a lot of these things. I've learned an awful lot in the last few years. I was just in Cologne, Germany last year for the World Bio-Based Conference, and it's literally exploding. Everything was bio-based before petrochemical, before plastics and all these things. So we're going back to an old economy that we had because of sustainability. Now, the problem, yes, RoofMax is less expensive. It's a better or a cheaper, or I would say a less expensive alternative than replacement. But if you have to replace it, then you have to replace it. But many bio-based products are a little more expensive. But I think COVID even pushes that forward quicker. I know that all natural cleaning supplies are up, organic foods are up, people are, bicycles and workout equipment, and, people are looking at things just differently because of COVID. So I think it's a positive.
Awesome. I like that. And it's funny that you bring up exercising equipment, because I think a company that really kind of got punched in the gut in November and was trashed by the media was Peloton. And now, well, I know everybody I know has a Peloton. You're right. I think people are seeing where they're going to spend money and do it. But let me ask you this. And I think this is an important question, because at the end of the day, my boss, my wife's going to ask me this question. If we were to use RoofMax, how long would that take? If you guys were to come out, how long does it take? Because it says you come out and make sure that the roof is, you could work with us, and then you spray. How long does that take? It says a couple hours max. By the way, I love the way you added the extra X to max. That's awesome. But how long does it take? Because I think that's cool that you do it. And I know, coming from a tech world, ease of use and how fast it could get done. are all the things in the world we all want, right? Even during COVID, we're like, how fast can you get my delivery here? Yep. How fast can I get whatever I need? We live that way. I mean, look, when Amazon took away Prime from us for 2 day or 1 day, look how we all freaked out that we had to wait 2 weeks for something, which was only a couple years ago. That was normal. Now we're like, oh my God, a whole 2 weeks. So, I mean, how fast does this take?
We're in and out in a couple hours, under a couple hours on the average home. We do a basic tune-up, minor maintenance work to the roof prior to treatment, spray the roof, we're out of there. It's not a mess. It's not noisy. It's not even a construction project. This is a maintenance product. We're applying it to the roof. We're in, we're out, 2-man team. And you don't know we were there other than that your roof looks nicer and you can not have to worry about your roof.
I love that because I think that's key for a lot of people is, number one, ease of use, and two, it looks better than what you had before. But I'm curious, you use soybeans.
Yep.
Seems like a very unique product to use. Easy to get, right? I mean, soybeans seem to be everywhere. Everybody's watching what they're eating nowadays. So who's the scientist and who came up with this? I mean, is that you, Mike? Are you the chemist I don't see any beakers back behind you. So I was wondering who came up with this technology.
I'm a roofer. We leave that to me, and we leave that the technology to the scientist. Battelle Labs is the world's largest research and development company. They're based out of Columbus. They're, like, as I said, they're the world's largest. So they're global. They manage Los Alamos National Labs as an example. So we partnered with them. The Soybean Council is behind this as well. We're financially partnered with them. And we got Battelle involved. We got Ohio State University involved. So this has been a team, a large team to pull this off.
Battelle how big? Battelle is one of the biggest companies out there. I mean, huge, you know.
Largest in the world. Yeah, I think 60,000 scientists globally. They manage Los Alamos National Labs. So there's definitely science behind this.
Wow. I mean, I just think it's fascinating that these products exist, right? Using something as simple as a soybean to put it on there, and it's a fix. So where's the fine line deciding your roof can be used by RoofMax and can't be used?
So it's not it is a soybean. It's soy methyl ester. It's the extract. Yeah. And Henry Ford, he called it the miracle crop. There actually is the soybean they have the soybean center at their museum in Detroit. So he called it the miracle crop. He dubbed it the miracle crop. And so it's an oil that we're getting down in the shingle, and it basically does the same job as petrochemical oil, which is reflexibilizes that asphalt. The roof has to remain flexible so that it can contract and expand. So yeah, very simple. The concept is simple. The technology to get it down and the delivery system is a little trickier. So.
And when you think about it, think of Florida, the sun, the 95-degree heat, and it's expanding and contracting. It's also the oils are dissipating over time, and in some cases, in 5 years, the oils have left those roof tiles, and they're very brittle and break. You walk on them, they're going to crack. So RoofMax it gets in there and extends the life by revitalizing those tiles.
Yep, absolutely.
That's so awesome to be able to do that. And obviously I think I'm hearing saving money. And I think that's the most important thing that folks are looking for. One, quality job that you don't have to worry about lawsuits because you see other people trying to do this. And that's when I was doing my research before talking to you both. That's the number one thing that came up with this topic was all these other people who have, lawsuit after lawsuit for bad work. And of course, RoofMax, that's not out there. Everybody gives you guys, if they have more than 2 thumbs, they're giving it to you guys. So, I mean, I guess, how do people look out for what's right and wrong? Obviously, go to RoofMax and sign up with you guys. But how does everybody likes to kick tires, right? That's kind of our world we live in, thanks to Google. So what should people look for when they're looking for, like, where's the fine line? Okay, I need to do something with my roof. Where do they go to get the real details? Because obviously going to any of our websites, it's going to make us all look great, right? I mean, It's easy to put whatever you want, but how do you go find the nitty gritty? Where's a good place to do that?
Well, if you go to our website, we have studies that were done by Ohio State University, and where Kevin lives in Tampa. PRI testing labs are one of the main testing labs for all of the major U.S. roofing manufacturers. We have studies that show we take an aged shingle, that was taken off of a roof because it had failed, and sent treated and untreated samples, had them tested, and we passed the same flexibility testing that's required for a brand new shingle. So we have all of the testing, and that was a technical report that was written, and the study was controlled by Ohio State University. We don't want to do that on our end. We want to bring in the experts and somebody third party. So all that data is out there. It's available on our website, and then there's just a lot of information out on the internet now because we've taken this to a point where roof rejuvenation is here. It's not a concept, or we hope this is going to happen. The market has very much raised their hand and said, we want this. And that's why we've become one of the fastest growing business opportunities in history. And it's why we're expanding so quickly. And it's how we were fortunate enough to get Kevin. If this wasn't doing what it's doing, his interest wouldn't have been piqued so much, to the point of wanting to not just invest, but also open his own dealership.
Absolutely. I mean, it sounds like, Kevin's all in there with, not just investing, but opening his own. I mean, that's the proof where the pudding is, right? There's so many people out there that invest in things, but they don't really jump into it. They're just like, yeah, I invested in it, and then they walk away. And I've seen that, especially in the Silicon Valley. You see so many VCs hop in and they barely touch it. They show up when the glory days. If the company's doing really well, then all of a sudden they're there. I mean, trust me, I've been around VCs that show up when it's really good and you're closing all these amazing deals and you're working with the best, the who's who. But I've also watched VCs disappear when it's, they coughed up $10 million and that company just took their entire friends and family and said, hey, we need to do a company retreat to Fiji. I'm pretty sure that's not where the VC wanted his money going. And strangely enough, the company I just mentioned, they're gone. They were gone real fast. They did not get another round. But I mean, that's good. So Kevin, before we finish this wonderful interview, what's your thoughts on your growth there in Florida? Florida's on the map. You guys are, I don't know if you guys are infamous or what here during COVID-19, but Florida kind of is doing its own thing and business is good and growing. I mean, do you think Florida's kind of the perfect place for RoofMax? Because you guys have the weather for it. Obviously you have hurricane season. Yeah. It's hard to replace your roof all the time. And I was looking at the numbers. It's such a small percentage of people who are completely redoing their roofs. I mean, it takes like an act of Congress to do that.
I think it's a great market. I talked about the extreme weather, right? I mean, we get, it's from 95 extreme humidity, and then, we'll get down in the 40s. So it's expanding and contracting. It's raining. It's hurricanes. Lots of, over the years, the different homes I've had lots of roofers at my home over the years. And if I had known about RoofMax, I think I could have saved a lot of money because I think I may not have been taken care of properly in the past. But I think Florida is going to be great for this market. We have Central Florida. And I think as Mike has said, some of the things, we're going to be a test market for some new things also. And so as we test new things, we'll be like a little laboratory here in Florida to be able to send them out then to other parts of the country on rollout. So we're excited to be right in the middle of the state of Florida to be able to get a good execution on this. We're going to be launching in a couple of weeks. By August 1st, we're going to be up and running.
Look at that. That's a short time away, which sounds really scary to say August 1st is right around the corner. I don't want to say that out loud because June's almost over, right, guys? I mean, where did June go? I mean, I feel like we just got into May. All of a sudden, I'm like, next weekend is July 4th? Are you kidding me? When did that happen? So it's crazy. That's right around the corner. So, Mike, before we go, tell the folks how they can find out more. Obviously, go to the website. But if they want to learn more information and sign up, obviously, everybody who's watching right now, if you look down in the description, you're going to see how to contact RoofMax and how to follow both of these awesome gentlemen right here. But you want to go to RoofMax first. But tell everybody else, social, all the good stuff, anything coming up that they should know about with RoofMax.
Yeah, go to our Facebook page. There's a lot of information there. We have a ton of really educational videos on our YouTube channel. There was a mini documentary done by PBS that gets a lot into the science. And actually, we were at Battelle. We did part of that video at Battelle, part of it at the Ohio Soybean Council. The people from Ohio State are involved in that documentary. So a lot of good information. Just go research the internet, and there's a lot out there. A lot of articles, stories that have been written on us. So
Outstanding. So just so everybody knows, we will have the link to the PBS documentary also included in here. So just scroll down. If you're on YouTube, scroll down, you'll find everything. We'll leave the link to your guys' YouTube for RoofMax also. Kevin, do you have anything in closing, my friend?
Well, I'm going to finish with this thought, is that if there's entrepreneurs out there that want to be in their own business, if RoofMax is for you, give us a call. We'd love to talk to you. You don't need roofing experience. I'm not a roofer, right? And I'm in the business. So, but we have the systems, the training, the lead generation. It's turnkey. So, and if it's not for you, do something that you can get support, because I've seen too many failures, too many business owners and entrepreneurs that have the big gleam in their eyes when they're going to start their business, and then they go at it and they lose their investment and close the business down. So look for help, and with 260 dealers and 600 locations now, we've proven that we know how to do this. So that's why I'm here, and Mike's he was a roofer long before RoofMax. So he sees that this is a great opportunity, and I do too. So I really appreciate you having us today, and it's awesome. You're a hoot, man. Had some fun.
I'm a hoot. I haven't been called a hoot. Been called a lot of things in the Marine Corps, trust me. And my wife. But I appreciate you both joining us today. I mean, what an awesome opportunity for us here on our audience here at To The Point to be able to have RoofMax here. I know a lot of folks are doing home improvement now. It is summertime, so make sure you go check out RoofMax. Mike, thank you so much. I love having a roofer, and I don't know. What do we call Kevin? Like he's this Shark Tank OG, serial entrepreneur. I mean, I have people. I took your picture while we've been doing this, so everybody knows there was a time you're going to see where I'm taking a picture. My phone is blown up while I've been interviewing both these gents, because they're like, Kevin, RoofMax, what's that about? So you're both getting love. It's funny because I tagged both, but everybody's like, so anyways, folks out there, thank you for contributing. But Kevin, you have amazing titles, Shark Tank, serial entrepreneur, investor in RoofMax, and you're a RoofMax guy. I mean, you have your own, so you put your money where your mouth is. That's awesome. Ready.
I love it. Thank you. Thanks for having us. Great interview.
So thanks, everybody. We'll be back after these messages to close out the show. So thank you so much.
Thanks for having us on. Take care.
We're done.
Woohoo. Right. Good job.
And that does it for us today on To The Point Tuesday. Thank you again for tuning in, and thank you to our guests, Mike and Kevin. Excited to have both of them here, and make sure you go check out RoofMax. They're doing big things, and obviously, if you're like me, like I said at the beginning, if you're starting to feel like your Chip Gaines or Joanna Gaines or both of them, you might want to call them, because you can fix your roof and not cost you an arm and a leg and a foot and anything else that it will cost you to replace a whole roof. If you've ever done it, trust me, most expensive thing that you'll ever have to do, other than put a kid through college. And that's expensive too. But I want to thank you again for tuning in. It's always great that you guys tune in and listen to the great guests we have. As always, if you'd like to be a guest on To The Point, simply email us at hello@tothepointtv.com, and we'll get back to you. We'll interview you, put you through the process, and see where you fit in on our show schedule. So we appreciate you. As you guys know, we have a chock full week and a week coming up. So let's talk about what's coming up on Thursday. We have an amazing guest Wednesday, but let's talk about Thursday. We have CNN legal analyst Richard Herman joining us. We're going to be talking about the Supreme Court, what's going on there, and what laws can we do. And there's a lot of rumors going around that if President Trump loses the election, he won't leave. Well, Richard and I dive into that, and I'll tip you off. Let's dispel that rumor here and now. But Richard's going to tell you why that is just a bunch of, well, as President Trump puts it, fake news. So we'll talk about that. And on Friday, it's a pretty cool show. It's, let's see, I wasn't even born yet when our guest was starring on TV. But from Eddie Munster, well, actually from the Munsters, we have the actor who played Eddie Munster. Butch Patrick is joining us. for an amazing guest there. And as always, we have America's birthday on July 4th. And what doesn't say America's birthday like Mr. Phil Paz joining us to sing some Americana tunes and just sing us into a perfect day and into America's birthday. So you're not going to want to miss that. Make sure you're sharing, you're smashing that subscribe button. Really love it when you guys smash that subscribe button, share with a friend, like our Facebook page, check us out on Instagram and Twitter. You can check us out both places. We're at To The Point TV. That's where we're at To The Point TV. Boom, there you go. Those are our networks. Go check them out. Like, share, tell a friend, phone a friend, tell relatives, tell everybody to come check us out here at To The Point. We have an amazing week coming up for you. Again, thank you so much for tuning in today on Throwdown Tuesday. We'll see you guys tomorrow on Women Wednesday. And as always, on behalf of our entire team here at To The Point, we'd like to say thank you. And as always, I'm your host, Eric Mitchell. Be safe, be strong, be smart. And God bless America.
Let's get to the point.